Welcome to my channel. My name is Silynthia, and I'm a mom who's trying to get her family to financial freedom. I have a part-time job. I also have an Etsy shop with CassieJBudgets and Vlogs. I'll link her shop as well as our freebies down below, so you can grab them if you'd like. Also, for the month of September, I did join a collaboration of ladies where we are supporting each other's YouTube channels, and I will link them as well. Today I wanted to stuff my envelopes for my weekly expenses. However, I wanted to set up my budget binder that I did get from CassieJ's Kofi shop, and I will link that if you're interested in purchasing it. Now, it does come in 8 by 11.5, I believe it was. So I shrank it down, and I was messing around with the sizing, and I don't have a printer at home. I go to the library to print my items, so the sheets that were too small, I kept them, but I'm just going to show you what mine is going to look like when it's put together. So I grabbed my A5 hole punch so that way I can punch them, because I do want to put them in an A5 binder. I did speak with Cassie J. She did agree to possibly make an A5 option. So then that way, if you have an A5 binder and you'd like to have the A5 size, you'll have access to it. So I'm just going to try to see how I can make this work here. Some of them are too small, like I said, but I do want to, even if I'm not using the pages, I still want to put them into my binder. So let me try to hole punch these and get through this, and we can get it set up. I think this one has to go like that. I did not use a special program to downsize them. I just used InShot, where you adjust the pictures, just so I can have a smaller setup. But like I said, definitely not necessary to resize unless you want to. But starting in October, hopefully we will see an A5 option. So I chose this A5 binder with the florals. I was trying to see if I had something that is a little bit more fall. I do have a rose gold, but I figured I'm just going to go with this one. I like it a lot, and we're going to stick with the flowers. So what I wanted to do was actually do a quick flip through, tell you what you can find in this digital download. First is the bill tracker, and you can set this up however you want in terms of order, or put in what you want or what you don't want, and I'm actually going to show you what my plan is. And then a notes page here, and then next up should be monthly goals here, and I do need to work on some goals. I haven't been really seriously committed to any goals, but that is a friendly reminder. And then a 2-page calendar spread, and that's why I hole punched it this way, so I can see it in the 2-page setup. And then next up is the monthly budget, and then we have the weekly budget. And for every weekly budget, if you want to have a breakdown, you can print as many breakdowns or as many weekly budgets as you like. I think that was one of the reasons I really like the digital download. And then also I was thinking what would work better for me is not having something that is restricted, so I can take the pages out that I don't need or add in the pages I do want. So the next step is the monthly closeout review, and the month-end sinking funds, where you can keep track what you started with and what you ended with. And then expense trackers. I don't really track my expenses, but then there's an expense summary. And then lastly, I thought was a really genius idea was the subscriptions tracker. I think if people need to keep track of the subscriptions, it's a good way to check in monthly. Some people like to check in yearly or quarterly, something like that. But let's really quickly figure out, what is Silynthia going to do here? I don't need a lot of this stuff because I do not track my expenses. And I do need to update my subscriptions and figure out what I've got going on. But that's not going to happen right now. My sinking funds, I only have my Christmas binder. You know what? I was trying to decide if I was going to fill that in. I think I'll put it in my binder, and when I get to it, maybe I'll add that in. Monthly closeout overview, not using that. And cash breakdown, we're not using it today, but maybe next week. I don't know. When I went to the bank was actually closed, so they gave me 20s. So I'm going to try to go through my, see what I have left in my Christmas binder, what I can actually use. But let's see here. We're going to use the weekly budget for sure. And I think I'm going to fill out my monthly budget because I kind of want to see that in there. And then my 2-page calendar. I really wanted a calendar and access to a calendar. Goals I was going to skip, but I think I'll add that in there too. And we will figure out what I'm doing with myself. Come in, notes page, and then the bill tracker. This is to keep track of the bills that you have each month. If you have certain bills that you track or anything like that, you definitely want to keep an eye here. But I figured since I'm going to be using the monthly budget, it does have a spot for the bills, and then how much you paid, and then the actual. The good thing about the tracker though is the date it's due, who you're paying it to, and the amount that you, and was it paid, yes or no. And some people are saying if they pay by cash, they put cash. If they pay by card, they pay by card. If they pay by check, then they say check or money order, whatever form of payment, underpaid. But I'm not using the bill tracker, so I'm removing quite a bit, but I think it's best for my budget at this point to use what I need. And so that's where I'm at with it. I do want to keep the notes page in there, and I may next week, no, this week, go back to the library and print up more. Each week I get a certain amount of money to spend on printing. I want to print more of the weekly budgets, maybe a couple more notes pages. We'll see about that. But I kind of wanted to have a backup just in case. I don't know. We'll see how everything goes. But I think we'll put the notes page in front just because it will give us a pretty image to look at. I wish I would have done better with the sizing, but I'm neither here nor there. If you print it the way it's purchased, it comes out perfectly in terms of sizing and everything like that. I prefer an 8/5, and that's why you'll see that I went ahead and did what I needed to do for it. Maybe I should cut it some more and just glue it on there. I might do that. We'll see, just so that way the top image is something pretty. All right. Hopefully I can edit this video down and not make it a whole lot of hoopla. Where is my pen? So once again, like I said, I printed this at the library on copy paper, free ink from the library. It's going to have some imperfections. There's, you know, not much I can do about that because I don't have a printer at home. Okay, we've gone ahead and filled in our dates here. And I feel like since we're already using orange and fall colors and florals and things like that, we'll stick with that. I was thinking to write in, my rent was already paid for this month, but I'll go ahead and put rent here for $1,430. And I grabbed my highlighter just so I can highlight. I may have to go over it with black ink. I'm not sure. And I'm not even certain if you can actually see it on the camera, but that's what it says. Rent $1,430. And then I have my phone bill on the 25th. And that one is $52. Perfect. I'm paid every Friday for my part-time job, and then also I do receive Etsy paychecks most weeks. In some months I receive YouTube paychecks. I was trying to decide if I wanted to keep track on my, do I want to keep track? I think I do. I'm not certain we're going to do that now, but it is something that I may want to do, maybe write in my paydays and maybe write in how much I actually made. But let's go ahead and move on. In the month of September, I already wrote out a monthly budget, so I won't sit through that with you right now, but I think I am going to fill it out to have it all in one place. And then we have a weekly budget that we're going to do today to get us going. And the sinking funds I'll do at a later time, and maybe at some point we'll sort through and do the goals this week. We'll see. I not interested in making any serious commitments, but let's work out our weekly budget. I think I'm going to grab a darker pen just because I feel like it's going to be harder to see that. I went ahead and grabbed my black pen so we can write this out. I'll try to zoom in as much as I can, but I will be verbally going over what we are working with. My part-time income, this paycheck, I did receive $360. My original plan, I budgeted $400 for each week. However, what ended up happening was I did miss a little bit of work because I took my kiddos to the dentist. So there's that. And then from Etsy, which I didn't budget anything from Etsy because I don't have a clue if I'm going to be paid each week or how much if I am, you know, anything like that. But this past week, I actually made $160, but I left $20 in my account. I was planning on leaving it as a buffer, but then I gave both my kiddos some money, so that's that. But that gives me a total of $500 for this pay period. So that's what we'll be working with today. So let's get started with our bills. My rent is actually due on the 1st of every month, and they give us a grace period until the 5th. But today we are going to cash stuff $435. And let's see, for my phone bill, which is due on the 25th, we are going to put $20 there. And then we'll move on to my cash envelopes, which Mommy's not getting anything, but gas is getting $20. Household, $10. My kitty, $10. And then, let's see, lastly is laundry. And laundry is getting $5. And that's a total of $45. This one was a total of how much was that? $455. Yes. Okay. That gives me a total of $500 here. I don't know how bright this orange is. That's why I was trying to lean more towards this one, but we'll see. Okay. Hopefully we got through this pretty well. There are some goals here for the week if you'd like to set up goals for the next week, or if you have rollover, how much do you have? I typically don't have rollover because I give myself such a little amount. That's that. All right, now let's see, get some cash, and I'll be right back with you. Right, that did take me a while to, like I said, when I went to the bank, I got all 20s, and I was trying to find change. I cannot, so what I'm going to have to do is figure out how I want to sort this. I think what we're going to do is put $440 into rent and take the $5 from laundry. I do have quarters, but trying to find the $5 somewhere, craziness. Okay, but let's just quickly go over this jazz. I want to leave this here until we get this squared away, but let me make sure this is $500 because I've got so much going on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. So we have 100, 200, 300, 400. We have $500 that we're working with today. I was trying to keep the money in my bank account, but I find that when I'm struggling, I need to go back to the basics. How did I begin? What helped me tremendously? And actually having the cash helped me tremendously. I made sure my safe was available to hold this cash for my rent and my phone. So I did set up this binder. Once again, florals. I kind of want to find something a little bit more earthy toned, and hopefully I will here soon. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and just work with what we've got. And rent is getting $440, 20, 40, 60, 81. 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, 40, 60, 83, 20, 40, 60, 84, 20, 40. Okay. And hopefully the next time I go, the bank is able to provide bigger bills, but we'll see. My phone bill is getting $20 today. And I do have the other envelopes for my bills, but I am working on setting up a month ahead binder to get myself a month ahead, 2 months, 3 months, whatever I can do. It helps a lot with the way my budget is set up, the way my income is set up, because I'm so low income. It's nice to not have to worry about overextending myself trying to figure out how to pay all these other bills if I just paid lump sum. So rent and phone are taken care of. Let's move on to our weekly expenses, which I think what we're going to have to do today is we're simply going to have to we're going to put $20 for gas, and then we're just going to put the other 20 in another envelope, so once I'm able to separate them, I can get my household needs and my pets needs. I typically shop at the same time, but I like to have them separated based on the amount. So for one envelope would be household and one envelope would be pets, but today that's not an option, and that's okay. I have to work it the way I need to. I know that 10 is for household and 10 is for pets. Laundry, I will go ahead and just use the quarters I have. I like to budget $5 a week and try to stay with that, but when I get quarters along the way, say I spend some money out of here and I get quarters, I just stack it for my laundry. Okay, so hopefully the next time we come together, I have this a little bit more set up. I was going to look for a dashboard or something like that to put in here, just because I'm not planning on laminating any of these, simply because she makes a new image, a new theme every month. So I don't see the point in laminating it if I'm just going to actually end up getting a new one for October anyway. So I will look for a dashboard and I will try to have this set up. I was thinking sometime this week to come in, check in, maybe set up some goals, and then whatever else I need to do in this binder, just because I want to try to get control of my budget and I want to check in with myself and make sure I'm just doing the basics. Got our budget planner set up. Hopefully we can get through that edited pretty well. And then we have our bills, which was our rent and our phone bill, and I've got to stay on top of that. And then our expenses. Really does suck when you don't have the denominations you need, but I'll figure it out. You know, just how it goes, you guys. But I want to thank you all so much for stopping by. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. All of the things that can keep us connected. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, guys.